What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're out here in the shop tonight working on the newer truck again. Still got the hood sitting over there and everything, waiting to be flipped over, and so I can finish it up, and we'll work on that in a future video, I guess. But in the meantime, I'm doing some stuff to the truck that's easier with the hood off. And so one of those things is a fuel line leak that I have, and I'm gonna try to show it to you here. This here is air brake line. It's a fuel line, but they use air brake line. You can see right there, air brake, Saint Gobain, air brake line. But Volvo uses it for fuel line, and it's got these special ends on it right here with the O-ring that break whenever you touch them. But it took me a while to find this leak. It wasn't a very bad leak, but if you look right here, you can see that hose is chewed all the way into, or just about. It's to the inner liner right there. And it would not leak at idle, but it would start leaking when you idle the truck up, say 800-900 RPMs. After about 5 minutes, you'd start seeing a drip. And where this is located is there's a bracket on top of the transmission that this is clamped in. And the clamp had come loose, and the line was rattling around in the bracket for quite some time by the way it looks. Anyway, Volvo does not keep those in stock because this truck has a Cummins motor in it, and pretty much every Volvo now has a D13 or a Volvo motor that is, or D13 is a Volvo motor, and you have to special order stuff for Cummins. So they don't keep any Cummins parts in stock. I actually buy my Cummins part from an international dealer, which they don't keep Volvo parts in stock. So that's a specific Volvo part for the Cummins. A lot of the Cummins parts are the same, but like your drive belt, fuel lines, that sort of stuff, even this oil filler cap is specific to Volvo because in an international or Peterbilt application or Freightliner or whatever, it's not the same because each truck manufacturer uses your own thing. So anyway, what I'm doing is I went to the parts house and got some DOT airline, and I'm going to put this together with these compression unions here, which is like the older Freightliners used to be, and the Peterbilts, and pretty much everything, I guess. I don't know. Volvo come up with this little quick connect thing, and this plastic stuff gets brittle, and if you touch it, it breaks. It's like the old Ford, or probably the new Fords too, and Chevrolet heater core connectors. It was on the firewall. After a while, they break off. You bump it, they break off. The plastic gets brittle. Then you have to go to the parts house and get that. And you're stranded on the side of the road because some stupid little plastic connector, when they could have simply put the hose on there, put a hose clamp on it, you'd have been fine. But so same kind of deal here. And they use some really weird fittings on the engine back here. They're metric fittings. And what these look like is like this right here. This is a metric to a JIC. I don't know what that metric is. I want to say the guy told me it was like a 22 millimeter or something. But it's a metric to JIC. Then they go from the JIC to this push quick connect. So I went to a hydraulic shop, and we're going from a metric to a pipe thread, then from the pipe thread to a compression union. And then on the other one, he did not have that set up, but he had a JIC. So this is the factory fitting. So we're going from a JIC to a pipe thread and then to a compression fitting. So hopefully that will get me going. And these are located on the back of the motor here. You can see one of them right there where that hole's out, or the hole is, and then the other one's on the back side of the motor. So these lines make a big loop up under the truck. They go in the back side of the motor right there, and they loop down kind of across the top of the transmission, back around, back on the frame rail, come up the frame rail, and come up right here at this Davco fuel filter system, fuel water separator, whatever you want to call it, and go in. So you can kind of see the shape of these lines here, what I'm talking about, how they come out the back of the motor, come around, loop up through the frame rail, and there's brackets on the frame rail that these are secured to keep them from vibrating and rubbing one another. So anyway, I got some new DOT airline. Like I say, I'm not going to try to splice that and reuse it. I could, you could, if you were in a bind, you could splice this right here with a compression union, and but these lines are old. They have a date on them right here somewhere. 10th month of 05. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but anyway. So these lines are old, and one of them, the little clip broke off of it, and the O-rings, I'm sure they'll start leaking because they're old as well. So we're putting some new lines on there. We're doing it a little bit different way, and we're not using the proprietary Volvo Cummins fittings they got going on right there. All right, here's what we got. I've got the new fuel lines here. I got them routed over. They go in behind the frame down here on the ground. I'm gonna get up under there and show you, hold on. All right, so this is up on the bottom side. You can see the oil field tube up here, how the lines route down and around. And they are secured right here in these brackets with a big zip tie. That's how they are from the factory. You just have to cut the zip ties, reroute them, go down the frame rail. Goes up by the starter down there. It would be a lot easier if you take the starter off. I managed to do it without taking the starter off, but they go up, and that's where it had a hole in it above the starter there where there's another bracket. And the zip tie had came off from the factory, and it was just shaking around there. So I've got that taken care of. The lines run back up, and come back up in here, and you see how I got it done back there. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe. Get you a better shot here. Yeah, you can see it now. All right, so that's done. The best place I found to get big zip ties at, if you need any, is Harbor Freight. I picked up, I don't know, about 3 packages of these last time I was in there, the big ones. So anyway, moving on, we are going to go ahead and put the new AC condenser I got on over there because this one has a hole in it right here. The guy said a rock hit it that I bought this truck from, and you can see it's damaged. I got it marked with paint where the hole's at. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and pull this off. It's just 4 bolts and 2 nuts right here on these lines. Pop it loose, pull it off. It's easy to do with the hood off. So I'm gonna go here and get the other one opened up and get that done. There's no Freon in this, so I don't have to worry about evacuating Freon or anything out. These lines will just pull off. And you got a couple O-rings here. I've changed one of these before. I don't remember having 2 O-rings, but this one does. So, don't remember if they come with the new grommets. I don't think they do. So it comes with grommets, and it comes with these little plates over the thing, and a little cover there, apparently. Set that right there for now. Supposed to put a little bit of AC oil. I'm just putting some PAG 100 on here on these O-rings. Won't hurt to put a little bit in the condenser either, because really not much way of knowing what was in the old one before it blew out, how much oil was lost in the old system when it blew out. So I'm just going to add a little bit in there like that. Wasn't very much left in this bottle anyway. Go ahead and finish it out. Alright, got the lines pushed up on there. All I got to do is bolt it back down now. Got to be careful when you put those O-rings, tighten those lines up, that you don't cut O-rings or you'll have a leak. That's not the right wrench. I'm going to go ahead and put the AC gauges on it and pull a vacuum. This system's been apart for quite a while, and so I'm going to leave a vacuum on it for a good while. Alright, we got the vacuum pump on, got the gauges hooked up. Just need to open the valves up on the gauges. That one's already opened up. Make sure all our connections are tight. Starting to pull down. Cut it off real quick, cut the gauges off real quick, see if it holds. Seems to be holding. We'll open it back up and leave the vacuum on it. I'm going to add a couple of ounces of dye to this system, and that way if there's any leaks that it will show up. I could have poured some straight in the condenser, but I didn't. Come on, thing. No way of knowing how much oil was lost out of the system whenever that rock hit the condenser, but anywho. It's about 2 ounces, pretty close to 2 ounces. The whole system holds like 10, so I would think 2 ounces of oil. It shouldn't have lost more than that. You don't want to get too much in there either. Well, I dropped the oil. This is what they call a can tap. It just pokes a hole in the side of the can. You pierce it down at the bottom. Like that. Then bleed the line of air. And we'll open the low side valve up and it'll start to charge the system. And we'll crank the truck up and see if we can get the compressor to engage and start pulling the rest of the Freon in. Hook this really. Alright guys, that about wraps this video up. I got the main thing I wanted to get done, which was the fuel lines, and I went ahead and stuck the AC condenser up there just because it got the hood off, and it's easier to do it now than it is trying to stand around the hood and reach over in there and do it. But anyway, got that done, and I'm about to go in the house and get cleaned up. We'll work on the hood a little more in another day. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.